Man, can you really believe it's been 15 years since Call of Duty World at War? I genuinely can't. Like, think about it. 15 years. 15 years of me playing this game at least once a week, honestly. And not only me playing it at least once a week, like, specifically, the zombies. We all know the zombies. Who doesn't love Call of Duty fucking zombies? And, you know, it's sometimes hard to imagine that this mode started as nothing more than a side project that wasn't even funded. Yeah, it wasn't even funded by Activision at first. It's just wild to think of sometimes. And honestly, it's also kind of amazing when you realize there was a strong chance it could have never been put in the game at all. But then, the top dogs of the company sat down and played the extra mode, and then that gave us the lovely thing we have today. By God. And let me tell you, it was horrifying in the best way ever. When you want to talk about scaring the pants out of the most hardened people on the planet, World at War Zombies did that in spades. Where can I even start with that? I think it was ingenious to hide it behind the main campaign mode. That was genius. Not knowing it was even there. Obviously, there would be updates later, and if you bought the map packs, zombies would just be there natively. But at first, you had to beat the campaign to access it. And let me tell you, little kid me, seeing that for the first time, it scared the crap out of me. And I did not... Well, I did enjoy it. But I did not enjoy the scare that came afterwards. Because let me tell you, I had no clue what was happening. No clue what was going on. That famous intro hits. And by Lord, it was set in stone. I was in love with this game mode. But more specifically, what made it horrifying other than being a surprise? Because yeah, while it ultimately caught us players off guard, that's not truly what scared us, is it? No, no, no. Even when talking about just the campaign and multiplayer, World at War is often regarded as the horror Call of Duty game. And for good reason. You know, when we talk about World War II, there's no bright spots. Yeah, sure, you can play up the propaganda of your native country during the time and place and all that yada yada stuff. Be like, oh, look at all these amazing contributions we did. But World War II, I struggle for anyone to name a positive moment overall in that whole spat. Actually, that goes true for most wars, not just World War II. But man, oh man, you want to talk about a war where everybody was a bad guy? That's the war. Because no matter what you were fighting for, your home country was aiding and putting millions of people away. Yikes. World War II is just horrifying. So, when we talk about World War II and Call of Duty, it's always going to be a little bit on the terror side. And even for the later Call of Duty games that revisit World War II, some of the aspects of horror are still there. There's no way to make a hero story really out of World War II without also acknowledging the horror of it. But World at War, that did it the best. This game did that the best. And then when you take the horrors of World War II and apply it to something as messed up, screwed up, dark, depressing, horrifying, questioning humanity, such as a zombie apocalypse caused by Nazis? Holy crap, like, you're talking about pure genius. Now, keep in mind, I'm just talking about the lore from the game itself when it started. You know, back before we got the Easter eggs, back before we got the extended lore, back before Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare, Infinite Warfare Zombies, Advanced Warfare Zombies. You know, well, honestly, Advanced Warfare Zombies, at least for the first map, ugh. Like, before you get the exosuit in that first map, Jesus Christ. But that's enough about Advanced Warfare Zombies. We're focusing on World at War. I almost said World at Warfare. I just named a whole bunch of Call of Duty titles and it screwed up my language. Oh my god. But refocusing on World at War, the one thing The one key thing overall that I think made it the scariest is probably just how World at War plays. Even in the campaign, even in the multiplayer, it is so slow. It's not sluggish, but it's definitely slower than most Call of Duty games. Like, even before, like, World at War just perfectly makes it, the mechanics work at a slow enough pace to where it's putting anxiety on your back, but not slow enough to the point where it's obnoxious. I hope that makes sense. And when you take these slower mechanics and apply it to zombies, everything from buying weapons off the wall, to reloading, to getting guns out of the mystery box, to opening doors, to rebuilding barriers, everything just feels like utter dread and anxiety. And literally no other Call of Duty game, at least except maybe Black Ops 1, at least for Kino der Toten, has never really matched that. And keep in mind, I'm not just talking about Nacht der Untoten here, I'm talking about all of the zombies maps for World at War, and it definitely was that horrifying. Like, the slowness of everything, like, everything just felt dreadful. It didn't matter what you were doing. Yeah, when you got pack-a-punch guns and all that stuff, eventually you could take some of the stress off your back. But for every moment at World at War Zombies, it's like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crud, where the fuck am I going? What am I doing? Why are there zombies here? What the fuck is the lore? It's just amazing. And it's also great how at this point of the storyline, we almost knew nothing. All we knew was there were Nazi zombies. That's it. We got some hints along the way, and really most of it wouldn't develop until Black Ops 1. But what little hints we got, it was just like, what is going on here? How is any of this possible? Should any of this even be possible? Should we even be here in the first place? What is Treyarch cooking up in the backyard? Oh my lord. It's also at this moment I'm kind of realizing, like, to the side here as I'm putting this video together, World at War kind of was Black Ops 1, wasn't it? Like, without World at War, so many plot points in both Zombies for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 1's campaign just wouldn't work. It's really funny to think Viktor Reznov is the fucking thing that ties together World at War and Black Ops 1. Oh, man. You know, a little side note, Reznov, still one of the best campaign characters ever. You can fight me on that all day. He's still one of the best campaign characters ever. And let's not forget the graphics. World at War was truly pretty good for its time when it came to graphics. And even now when you take the game and upscale it into modern day resolution such as 4K, and even putting it into 120 FPS on modern day machines, it looks pretty fucking good still. It looks amazing. And that's the thing. The graphics are high quality, yet simple. And when you're doing horror, that's often the best thing. High quality and simple. Put enough there to give them an idea, but not too much to where you're over-explaining it. And that's definitely a problem for a lot of newer Call of Duty games. The graphics are amazing. They definitely get me absorbed into the world, but you overdo it so much to the point where I feel like the storytelling is not letting me have any room for imagination up in my head. And that's unfortunately a lost art with a lot of video games nowadays. But World at War and its Zombies mode specifically lets you do that. Like, what more can you ask for? It's letting me imagine further horror. It's not over-explaining the horror up front like the later zombie modes do. And I'm not talking about Black Ops 1 and 2. I know some people will argue Black Ops 2 was when it went off the rails. No, Black Ops 3, 4, Cold War, that's when it truly went off the rails. And then there was also, we all remember Infinite Warfare Zombies, and it's better we don't remember it. I wish I didn't remember it. Honestly, I don't know why I even bring it up. I should probably throw myself into the void for even mentioning it now that I'm thinking about it. And you know, now that I'm actually thinking about it, while we definitely did have Zombies games at the time, I'm struggling to think of a first-person zombies game we actually had back then. It's amazing. This should be my leading point into the video, but it's like taking me this long to actually realize that. And this ain't even in my little bulletin point I have to the side here. I literally just realized this. There really was no other game that let you go into first person, shoot up zombies, and have a good time while doing it. Like, we obviously had the Resident Evil series. Gears of War was around by this time, but none of those were first person. So, holy crap. Way to go, fucking Treyarch. Y'all gave us something we never even realized we wanted. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Man. I'm actually just shocked. I really thought I could at least think of one other game, but I genuinely can't. I'm gonna look it up real quick and see if I'm actually right, but I think I'm right on this. Okay, I want to say I'm actually 50% right on that previous statement, because I'm finding lots of zombie games that actually came out beforehand, but only some of them were first person, and a lot of them you don't have full control over a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I'll let y'all decide on that one. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you think these games where you only have control count, like, there's a lot of them, like legitimately too many to name, but oh my lord. Didn't even know there were these many zombies games before Call of Duty. Holy shit. And can we always remember the ever favorite quote? Sam! Man, for something that was just an audio glitch and just really a problem with coding, it's so amazing how a simple glitch formed such a long-lasting storyline. I don't think anyone expected that little thing to become so big. But I can literally remember every single person asking, "Who is Sam? Who's Sam?" And obviously we would later find out Samantha and all that, the ether and all that crap. Man, later Zombies games really went off the rails. No joke. And what am I even thinking about? The ray gun, the Wonder Waffle, the fucking flamethrower, and let's not forget the PPSH, the Tommy gun. And listen, this one's a little bit of a weird pick, but I actually kind of liked using the M1 Garand with the grenade launcher in Zombies. I kind of liked it, thought it was kind of cool. And then we can't forget when we finally got the Pack-a-Punch. Oh my lord, when we got the Pack-a-Punch, game over, Zombies. We're making it to round 29 minimum, with little effort put behind it. But keep in mind, Pack-a-Punch was only on one map back then, the last map. So for a majority of the games, yeah, you're kind of up shit creek without a paddle. You're lucky to make it to round 30 in some of the World at War maps. You legitimately are. Like, even with 4 people, maps like Nocturne on Toten just become too much to manage after so long. I remember me and my friends, the highest round we could ever get to on Noct was round 40. That's it. And that was with all of us, like, oh man, I can't even get into some of the stupid ass strategies we would need to get into to get that stuff to work. Glitching the map and all this stuff. There were tons of glitches back then because not a lot was patched. Most of it is patched out nowadays, though. Let me tell you, if you actually stood a better chance of beating Noct. Well, you can't beat Noct, but getting to a higher round on Noct if you were just by yourself, really. Because the Zombies it doesn't really do this, but it does. The Zombies kind of multiply to the amount of people spawned in. There's not a set, well, there is a set amount of zombies. That's a minimum. But then it will multiply around how many people you have in. So technically speaking, if you have in 4 people, it takes longer to get through a round sometimes. And then there's the fact that Noct is so fucking small, you will just get overrun, slaughtered. It's the man behind the slaughter. And where are my gosh darn manners? Where are my gosh darn manners? The horror truly got ranked up with the second map. Let me tell you, that zombie asylum, oh, I genuinely think that's the only thing from a video game that I've ever had show up in my nightmares. No game before or after, no game mode, no game scene, no subsection, nothing. But that zombie asylum, that showed up in my nightmares. That thing, that map showed up in my nightmares forever. And then there's the fact, even if you had 4 people, it split your asses up. You had to go through opposite sides of the map to meet up with each other. Oh my lord. Fuck. And oh my god, Shinonuma, the fucking swamp. What do I even need to say about that swamp? Oh my god. Once you got to the Hellhounds, game over. Game over. Like, I'm telling you, those Hellhounds, they kicked my ass more times than anything else. Those Hellhounds, man, let me tell you, younger me was on a warpath against those Hellhounds. But they kicked my ass every single time, man. Man. And when you hear and let me tell you, hold on, I got a story. First time I ever encountered Hellhounds, I only had the starting pistol. This is when I was starting to get decent at zombies. So, you know, I was getting used to just carrying the pistol around for the first 5 rounds, getting my shit done, getting my points in to get the better weapons, like almost right out the gate to give me an advantage and get through the doors. When you meet the Hellhounds for the first time and all you have is a pistol with half ammo and a knife, fucking knife, still had PTSD from this day. Still had PTSD to this day from that crap. And oh my lord, then you get to the fucking Nazi main headquarters for the final map. It's just the mental end of everything. You get to this place, there's teleporters, you learn about time jumping and moving to different points. Like, it's wild. It fucking went insane. It went hard is what it went. But then there was the reality. We had the 4 main characters finally. But even then, no matter how much of a familiarity we had by this point, we all got to admit we were still shitting our pants sometimes. Because let me tell you, even though this was the map where you had the pack-a-punch, it didn't matter. There were so many blind corners in this map. Let me tell you, I specifically remember getting to the one section that's like, it's like lit in red lights, and it's almost like a slaughterhouse basically. And you move through this point, and it was my first time going through here. I turn a corner and just zombie right in front of my face. And let me tell you, that moment in my life is when I think I became a man. I never screamed so much in my life as having... Didn't scare me. No, the second zombie map scared me more. But the last one, with all those blind corners, I'm telling you, it'd be like, ah! And every time, my parents would hate me screaming. My parents would genuinely hate me from screaming about that stuff. But I couldn't help it. It was just genuinely scary. And thankfully, if you had the ray gun, the Wunderwaffe, you know how it is. It would be a decent, easy thing to get rid of the zombie and go through. But let me tell you, when you're on round 20 and you think the whole horde is spawned in behind you, but you miss a zombie and a zombie shows up around the corner, it's just like, well, I'm fucked. That's just how it goes, and that's just how it feels. It will legitimately feel like you are screwed. It just will. I honestly think I could go on forever talking about Call of Duty World at War Zombies and all the good things it did. But it's better to probably leave it here before I overexpose both the game and myself. Because let's be honest, still a game from 2008. But for a game from 2008, and for a game mode that was always meant to be just an afterthought, it truly scared the fucking crap out of us. And let me tell you, if you have any good Call of Duty World at War Zombies memories and how it scared the piss out of you, leave that in the comments below. I have been Johnny Von Duke, and I'll see you all next time, losers. Just kidding, you're not losers. Also, don't let the hellhounds bite. I'm just saying, fiery jaws of death would probably hurt a lot on the arms and legs and torso and the like.